odd time of the year because really none of the seasons are over. We're all still playing, but obviously school's going to be out before that happens, so we try to recognize and do this before school's out so we can recognize those students. First of all, I'd like to thank all the coaches and sponsors and all the sacrifices and work and what you put in. You spend a lot more time with these athletes during these seasons, probably more than your own families. So I thank you for that. I think we have some outstanding people that care a lot and work hard, and that goes a long way, and I really appreciate that. Today's program, we will start with track, we'll then do baseball, softball, golf, and the forensics. So let's welcome Mr. Collins to the track.
Kudos to those guys. Good luck to the softball team. The golf team, I think I just asked the young man. They had a great finish too. And I always want to congratulate Mr. Stuckey and the forensics kids for their state performance this year. So give them a round of applause. Always want to do thank yous. Definitely as hard as coaches work, we don't do this by ourselves. And so I always want to thank certain people. I want to thank Mr. Heward. And I'm going to mention something again that got mentioned at an earlier banquet, but obviously we know this is Mr. Heward's last go. And I can't say thank you enough. Truly, I asked him so many questions that I have no clue. I spend countless time in his office that he can't get other things done, and he has helped me immensely over the last, it's been longer than that. Yeah, like 19 years. We'll say 10. That makes it sound better, but thank you. Mr. Hutton, again, he's another one. This will be the last go, and I appreciate him. 22 years ago, sitting at a little table across from me, and I probably looked like a 12-year-old kid. I can remember the day I had an oversized suit because it just didn't fit me. I was little, and for some crazy reason, that guy gave me a job, and he just couldn't get rid of me, so I appreciate that. The Booster Club. Booster Club always takes care of meal money for state kids. I know that hasn't happened yet, but we'll get to that point. I want to thank Jen. She's always getting the assistants and our subs, print certificates, getting all the letters and bars, and we got to bother her for pull sheets, and she's entering things in Acacia for us all the time, so I want to thank her. Alan Carlson, he's always out there with us at home meets, setting things up, taking stuff down, getting things put away. I definitely appreciate that. Our bus drivers, we've had quite a few this year. We've had Alan, we've had Dee, Sandy, Jeff. Did I leave any out? And I appreciate them always getting us to where we need to go safe. It's always funny because people will ask, like, hey, how do you get to so-and-so? I don't know. I just ride the bus. The bus drivers know how to get there, so I don't ever worry about it, but they do a great job. I want to thank all the high school teachers for allowing the kids to be out of class, you know, being understanding with homework and things like that. I definitely want to thank my assistants. Coach Tice is probably in PE somewhere. Coach Crawford is in charge of our throws and does a fantastic job with our throws. You can tell over the last few years, several years, we've got state champions, state medalists, always league champions, regional champions. Coach Crawford does an amazing job with our throwers. Give them a round of applause. And then I have Coach Watkins, who stepped in unfamiliar territory. We had an opening in our distance and pole vault area, and she knows the distance stuff. The pole vault was something new, but she has kind of tackled that head on, and she knows some people, and she's reached out, and she's done a tremendous job with our pole vaulters this year. So let's give her a round of applause. I also want to thank our families for allowing them to be out and doing those things that we need to be with our athletes. My wife and kids, I come home late sometimes, and they're still there and awake and wait for me, so that's awesome for me as well. And then our parents, I know there's not a lot of parents here just during the day, but I appreciate the parents and all they do, having great kids. I mean, we really do have a really great group of kids to work with, and I appreciate that. To the athletes, this has been a crazy season. I can honestly say that in all my years of coaching spring sports, this might have been the worst one due to weather ever. If it has not been absolutely raining, 40-mile-per-hour winds, or both, it decided to instantly turn to 98 degrees. So it's been crazy. We've struggled with the quality of practices because of weather, whether it's being raining or we're going to come inside, but you have all persevered in spite of that. And so now what we've done and we've worked for, we get to these last 3 weeks of the year, and now it's like really hot. And I know everybody that's outside is dealing with that. But I know that through your efforts, I'm really looking forward to what we're going to accomplish these last 3 weeks. We've had a lot of athletes step up this year, do some great things. Because of the nature of where we're at, we don't have anything to talk about league champions right now, or regional champions, or who's going to state. So I don't have a lot there, but we do have one thing this year, and since I'm not having them walk up here, where's Jay Sprinter?
He's right here.
I'm going to have Jay Sprinter stand up.
Stand up, Jay.
They all clapped, but I didn't say anything yet.
That's what he's right.
That he is, so that's exactly what I'll tell you right here. Jay Sprinter, it's been on his goal for a while. There was a record that was really old, and then it got broke in 2012 by a kid named Malachi Cousin, and that was a tough record. And Jace went out this year at West Franklin. He is now your 800-meter record holder with a time of 1:57.99. So now. Okay, athletes receiving letters today means that they have scored at least 1 point in a varsity meet this season. If an athlete gets a provisional letter, that means that they were close to scoring several times. And if obviously they come back next year and they do score those points, they'll receive their letter for this year. And then all others will receive a participation certificate. We do still have 3 meets, so some of these things can change. If they do, I'm sure they'll let me know. But we will get that fixed. So I'll start by calling them up, and if they want to come through, I'll give the certificate to Mr. Crawford. And if you received any letters, bars, pins, Coach Watkins will get that to you. So, receiving participation will be Shane Powell, Kirsten Devon, yeah, I like the 2 claps and then not the, let's see if we clap last thing. Pay out. Just 2 claps. And Michelle Gardner. And this year we did have an exceptional year for scorers. We did not have any provisional letters this year. So everybody else that I call up here will receive a letter. Britton Bird. Harley Watkins, Weston Dunbar. Jess Reese. Lexi Boss. Tamia Waller. Luke Kearns. Tyson Gray. Luke Order. Logan White. Sadie Shoemaker. Dakota Boss. Greta Crawford. Dalton Schaefer. Noah Martinez. Campbell Stark. Isaac McCoy. Paige Burke. Allie Sage. Josiah Smith. Caden Kirkpatrick. Landon Reeves. Chase Williams. Landon Boss. Okay, now talk a little bit about our seniors. First one will be Liz Duvall. Liz is kind of our manager this year. She's had injuries along the way, and she even got injured during basketball season. We all kind of know how that goes. And she kind of talked to me and was like, really don't want to go through that again. And I said, you know what, kid, that's probably a good idea. So she wanted to be out there and be part of it, and so she led her this year as a manager. Milo Little. This is Milo Little's, I'm going to call this Milo Little's first year out of track. We tried to get her out the track before, and I even asked her one day, she goes, I said, why didn't you come out? She goes, I don't know. I got to respect that. That's good. She didn't want to. So I'm okay with that. But she's done a tremendous job running distance for us this year. But I do wish we could have probably seen her out there a little bit sooner. Next up is Jared Buttfield. Jared is now a two-time letter winner. She has been a great thrower for us. She's been great. But we will miss having her around. She's always smiling no matter what's going on. So thank you, Jared. Next up, Riley Patterson. Riley Patterson, he did an excellent job for us this year as a thrower. There were also some times where we knew he was going to be doing some running, and he filled in for us on some 4x8s. I believe, did you actually fill in on a 4x1? Yeah. And so I didn't forget that, but he, as far as I know, is the first person to hit a bus with a disc. Yeah! The next one is Tanner Teal. Tanner Teal is a 3-year letter winner. I'll go ahead and stop real quick because Teal's obviously the first one. These kids didn't get an opportunity to become four-year letter winners because, as all of you realize, our seniors during their sophomore season kind of got that snake away from them. So a lot of these kids that you'll hear have been three-year letter winners would have definitely been probably four-year letter winners in any given year except for what we had in the last few. So Teal, obviously, he was a three-year letter winner. He was a dual sport for us this season. He was injured quite a bit, had a hamstring, had a knee problem, but he is one of our top pole vaulters. And hopefully, we're looking forward to him staying healthy these next 3 weeks and getting to stay this year pole. Next up is Brian Bailey. Brian Bailey is also a dual sport for us this year. He's been a two-year letter winner. He's had a tremendous season with the hurdles. He's filled in on some 4x4s for us and also done the high jump. Brian right now currently ranks in the top 4 of each of his hurdle races. And when I say that, I mean top 4 regionals. And so if we can stay in those spots right now, we're going to see him run those hurdles in Wichita. Next up is Casey Moon. Casey's a 3-year letter winner. He was an alternate for us at state last year. And right now he's sitting on a 4x4 team that is ranked in that top 4 area of regionals. So hopefully we get him to stay in this year, but actually he's going to run it. Last year he got out of it, this year he's going to run it. And then we've got Jace Brennan. Jace is also a 3-year letter winner. He's been to state every year that we've had a season. He's currently, like I said before, the 800-meter record holder. He's also been a state medalist, and we know that he will be headed off next year to college to run and further his education. So, these seniors, they've endured quite a bit in their short careers. Like I said, they had COVID in their sophomore season before it even got started. Competed as juniors, we had to wear masks. And then finally this season, we have dealt with all sorts of weather and inside practices and all sorts of things like that. So they've had quite the career. League is on Friday. We will be at West Franklin. The boys are the defending league champions, I believe. If you take out the COVID year, these senior boys have not lost the league yet. They have won the last 3 in a row. COVID took that 4th one out in the middle, but hopefully we can defend that this week. Then we have regionals coming up. Regionals is in Royal Valley. We do have tough regionals, so I do look forward to seeing what we can qualify for state. And then lastly, to my seniors, I don't care if you've been out there for a day, a year, or 3 or 4, but I hope you have taken some great moments from being part of this track team. Some of you haven't been out that long, but I hope there was something good that you took from this experience. I do look forward to making some more great memories over these next 3 weeks, and I wish luck to all of you. I do wish luck to all of those programs. You know, we're doing the record boards in the gymnasium, and it's kind of turned into a game for me, finding out every time we win a league title, I get to add another little number to it. I like to order it and say, hey, we need like 15 2022s to put up on those boards. So hopefully we can get some more track ones. We got a golf one, and hopefully baseball and softball are to come. And we got Brent, correct? Yeah. Right on. So, thank you.
And one of these athletes got the wrong pin, so if you got a manager pin, come find me.
And here's baseball.
So first off, I'd like to say thank you, Mr. Hutton, the school board. You know, I can't believe it's already been 5 years since they've given me this opportunity to coach and be a part of this Osage City community. So thank you guys for that, and best of luck to Mr. Hutton and his future endeavors. Mr. Hewitt, thank you for everything. You know, I'm in his office pretty often, asking questions, this and that. So I truly appreciate everything you have done for me over these few years. I hope you enjoy retiring and don't have too much fun. Jen Hokinson, you know, she goes above and beyond for everybody. I mean, she's asked to do 1,000 things every day by each and everybody in high school. So I know it's a daunting task, so I really, truly appreciate Jen Hokinson. Thank you very much. Alan Carlson, like Mr. Bellinger said at the beginning of the year, guys, we had the worst weather we could ever ask of. And I'm telling you right now, we had to cancel, postpone. Seems like every game we wanted to play in early in the year. But Alan was always down there on the Saturday, early Monday, trying to get the fields ready for us in order to play. So thank you to Alan Carlson for that. Shout out to Gary Thompson as well for doing those fine things, mowing the field, chalking the line, the little things that I don't have to worry about. That goes a long way. Sandy Lopez, Jeff Pearson, you know, thank you guys for driving the bus. I know these guys can be a handful at times on that bus, especially after a win and we're coming on the way home. You know, it might get a little rambunctious back there at times. Mike Fager, Jeremy Litchell, thank you guys for running open gym for me. You know, that goes a long way. I think I can really hold our hats on our success this year just because of those little bitty opportunities that we take for open gym. I know the guys have enjoyed it, so I appreciate you guys doing that for me. I truly mean that. Robbie Noble, you know, for keeping game change at the beginning of the year for me and things like that. You know, that's something a lot of coaches look at. You know, stats, rate charts, all the above. So that's hats off to him. Appreciate it. Brian Sage, Tyler Parsons, Andy Lohmeyer, you know, Matt Green. You guys, thanks for the meals. That's on behalf of the parents and things like that. You know, cooking, it's always a big deal. I know those guys are always itching to go over there and get something to eat. You know, we had pulled pork the other night, mashed potatoes, and all that good stuff. So I know those guys were eating good and they were licking their chops ready to get after it. So thank you to them. This is kind of to all the moms. Jenny Litchell, Kelly Bowen, Kelly Warner, Sarah Fager, Kylie Lohmeyer, Lisa Creeksall, Amy Parsons, Robin Sage, Tasha Mead, Karen Green. Thank you guys. I truly mean that, guys. Like I said, it's a lot easier for me to just be able to coach when I don't have to worry about where the next meal is coming from, you know, this or that. So that's hats off to you guys. I truly appreciate every bit of that. You know, and another thank you to my players. You know, it's an awesome opportunity to be able to lead young men, and I hope a lot of people out there aspire to become a coach or a teacher or an educator in some kind of way, because being able to give back to your community and everything you've done in your life is a very special moment. I promise you that. And shout out to my coaching staff as well. We've got Anthony Wonder, who rejoined us this year for our second year, and we've also got Coach Evan Faulkner. Coach Wonder worked with our outfielders. He was our JV head coach as well. And then we had Coach Faulkner. That was our pitching and our catchers. So I think if you really think about it, if you look at the stats and everything, they have done a fabulous job of allowing us to be the best team that we can be in the state. So I'll kind of go through a couple things as we go. You know, these guys over here, they're good hands. Don't worry about all those guys. So the varsity season, you know, coming into this year, I knew we had a solid team. You know, finishing last year, I was excited about what we had coming back and what we had coming up as well. You know, you never are entirely sure what you're going to have, but, you know, when we showed up February 28th, I knew we had something special. And what's kind of crazy about that is I actually was in basketball at that point in time as well. So I actually think I only got to make the first 2 practices out of the 9 while I was doing basketball. So these guys were overlooking that and taking care of business. And, you know, it's nice to have a staff that you can trust and understand and, you know, the expectations that you have, and they can kind of instill it with your kids as well. So I appreciate you guys taking the time to do that. It's a thoughtless thing, I'm telling you, but it means a lot to me. So we were able to start our season 2-0. We actually beat Valley Falls, which was at the state runner-up in 2021 in the Class 2A. So whenever you're able to do that, you're doing something right, and that kind of got us a jump start and moving in the right direction. We started out with 27 players at the beginning of the year. We're at 24 right now. These guys have showed up every day, willing to accept the challenge, and that's kind of where we're setting ourselves up right now. We did finish our regular season last night. We finished 17-3, which is actually the most wins in Osage City baseball history. So that's a hats off to these guys. I did get the regional rankings and everything like that. We will be the number 4 seed. We will play Monday. We'll play at Garnett. We will play against West Franklin at 2 o'clock. I know it's kind of a time frame that doesn't work for a lot of people. Hey, they do have live streams and all that good stuff, so any kind of support that you guys can show, I promise you it goes a long way. So I really hope you guys are able to take the time to do that. Kind of talk about a couple of the seniors and things like that, you know, with their overall record. We finished 17-3, regular season, Flint Hills League, we finished 12-2, we did finish in the second place right there. The senior group, they finished 33-24, which at first doesn't sound like a great record, but if you think about it, they had 28 wins in the last 2 years. So 28, that's amazing of the 33 record, guys. These guys have allowed for our culture and our program to change. And they showed us and they found out, hey, whatever you put in is what you get out of it. Okay, so that's a hats off to those guys for doing the little things right each and every day. You know, it's never easy just coming to work every day. That's an everyday thing. 9 to 5, it's tough. It is tough. So I appreciate you guys for that. We'll go over a couple of stats and statistics and all that fun stuff. I know everybody loves the numbers. It's kind of amazing. So you'll hear a couple of these guys' names repeated, and there's a reason for that. These guys have done a tremendous job of working their tails off in the off-season. That's where you get most of your work for anybody that's ever wanting to get anything out of life. It's when nobody's watching us. That's where the real bang for the buck comes. So the guys leading our team in batting average this year were Garrett Fager and Logan Fager. G finished with right now in the regular season with a 535 and Lowe's was a 440. That's astonishing, guys. It's pretty amazing. You know, when you look at these guys and you rely on those guys to get on base and move people around for you, they have done a fabulous job. These guys bat 3 and 4 for me. And if you know anything about baseball, those are pretty important spots on your team. Hits, we had a total of 184 this year. G led the team with 38, and Lowe's was right behind him with 33. So you can see that little brother's trying to come from big brother right now. RBIs, we had 141. G led that as well with 34, and Lowe's came in second with 32. So like I said, you'll see a couple of these names repeated, guys, and there's a reason for that. We got a total of 189 runs. G has played it 36 times, and then we had a change of pace. No low iron made an appearance for 23. Sorry, folks. We got to get you on that more. Our slugging percentage, G actually prior to last night's game was over 1,000, which was actually pretty amazing. But he's actually at a 986 right now, and Lowe's at a 627. So those are two guys that we rely on heavily in our batting lineup. Stolen bases, we have a total of 69. Garrett Fager was 17, and Brody Littrell was 16. You know, not as many bases stolen as we want right now, but hey, we're going to continue to climb the charts on that. On base percentage, Garrett Fager with the 607 and Brody Littrell with the 526. The reason Brody is probably at a 526 right now is because Brody gets hit like about every at bat he's going to put up there. He gets pretty often, and there's another person too that's over there. It's Cooper Parsons. I don't know what they are, but they are ball bags. It's like the other team, they said something to them because every time they step in the box, they're probably getting hit. Strikeouts, this is kind of astonishing, honestly, when you think about it. We have a total of 161 strikeouts as a team, and when that's an average of 8 strikeouts per game. G, I just checked this on Max Preps before I came down here. He has a total of 89 strikeouts. That's second in all classes in the state of Kansas. That's astonishing. And then he is first in career right now as well. So that's 89 strikeouts. I think that's almost 12 more than what he had total last year, and we've only played 20 games. So, you know, the work ethic that he's put into the weight room, you know, being a driven individual, he's done a fabulous job, and it is definitely paying off. So, good job with that, G. And then little brother's right behind him with 22 strikeouts. So, our ERA right now, earned run average is 2.61. G's at a 0.481, and then Lowe's finally gave up his first runs yesterday, unfortunately, 1.34. It's all good and gravy, though, baby. You know. So a couple comments. Hey, can I have my 16 steps in the front? We'll start off with all Lucas Goodyear right here. Hey, and each one of these guys are very, very special to me. Like I said, I got here 5 years ago, and these guys have changed completely. Maturity, everything. I think we always think back to freshman year when Lucas Goodyear's out playing in right field, we're going in and out. And at that point in time, I thought Lucas was capable of catching the ball, but we found out real quick that it didn't happen. And he caught it with his face, and it was not a good situation. But Lucas has been one of these guys that he hasn't got a lot of playing time, but he shows up every day. He perseveres. He's a great teammate. You know, always putting a smile on everybody's faces. And I think that's what the biggest thing is. Everybody sees playing time, you know, as a benefit to sports. I think it's the people that make the sports, guys. It's do you enjoy yourself? you enjoy being around your teammates. So those are little bitty moments like that. So appreciate that, Lucas. Thank you. We got G right here, Garrett Fager. I can always remember G when I first got here. He was about a 104-pound little freshman coming in, man. I mean, soaking wet, didn't have nothing to him. And we sat down, we had a conversation. He said he had interest in going to college. And I said, man, this is what you have to do to get there, bud. And he's done every bit of it. He's worked his tail off in the weight room. He shows up every day. He's went to trainings. He's went to different camps. He's done what he needs to do. And he's going to go to college next year. He's going to pitch at Butler. I'm excited for his awesome opportunity. Make sure you send me a schedule. That way I can get out there and watch a couple of those. Thank you. Yes, sir. Next, we got old Tyler Sage, the vocal one. We love his energy, man. T. Sage is probably one of the more passionate people I've been around when it comes to sport. It doesn't matter if you're winning or losing or whatever it might be. T. Sage is a person that stays on top and he's the voice of this team. I've got a lot of love for my guy. He's done everything that I've ever asked of him in order to help us get to where we are in this point in time. And I'm expecting a lot out of these 6 seniors come Monday. There's no doubt in that. And I think T. Sage is going to Neosho next year as well, right? He's going to go out there and do great things. I know that. Okay, I appreciate you for all that, Tyler. Thank you. Next, we got old Brody Litchell. Yeah, old Brody. If you look at Brody, he's changed over the years just a little bit. Whenever he gets hit by a ball, we don't even ask him if he's okay. We just ask the official to check the ball. It's kind of one of those ordeals, like I said. Brody is a very, very passionate person. He's not a very vocal person, but he's a lead by example kind of guy. Does everything he asks of him. He's been our catcher ever since I was the JV coach. He's done everything behind the plate, calling great games and all that good stuff. So unfortunately, he's actually going to Pitt State next year, which, sad news, I guess. But hey, best of luck to you, buddy. MIAA, sorry about it. We got old Brian Bailey over there, another senior. Brian's a dual sporter for us, so it's a tough deal. I might miss him here and there for the beginning of practice. He goes to track. But what I always love about Brian is, man, he comes to practice with just the biggest smile on his face, man. It doesn't matter if he had the worst day or whatever it might be. He is a very, very personable person that just enjoys being around people. And that's what I have so much love for him. So I wish nothing but the best for Brian. I believe he's going to K-State next year as well. So best of luck with that. And finally, but not least, we got old TG, old Trent Green. I think Trent Green is an example of a team player and a person that you want to have in your program. At the beginning of the year, Trent was my starting first baseman. He was. And then all of a sudden, we got in a couple hairy spots where, I thought I needed to make a change and things like that. But hey, TG never batted a ninth. He was never a bad teammate. He showed up every day. He's in our DH spot now. He's done a fabulous job. And every day, he's only gotten better. A lot of people, when they get benched or something, they think something's wrong with them or they did something wrong. Not in this case, man. This is just a guy that just kept showing up and just getting better every day. He had like a jack the other day at Council Road, which was just amazing, man. And I know that made his day, and it made me a little nervous because I didn't know he was going to touch the plate at first. So I appreciate you guys. Nothing but love coming from me. And like I always say, man, if you guys ever need anything from me, just let me know. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. I'll just briefly talk about our JV season, and then we'll kind of start doing awards and all that fun stuff. We weren't able to play 12 games this year. Our JV did finish 7-5. I actually originally had 20 games scheduled, but with Mother Nature in Kansas this year, it was very unfortunate where we had to either cancel or postpone and find those games. But I was very, very pleased with the growth that this team has continued to make throughout the year. When we first showed up on February 28th, I'm not gonna lie, I was a bit concerned at first. Man, what do we get ourselves into right here? Okay, but over time we have persevered. We have made tremendous strides, and I'm expecting a lot from a lot of these young guys to step into bigger roles next year with these 6 seniors graduating. So you understand what you guys are working for next year as well, fellas. So next we'll go over who's letter, provisional, participation, all that good stuff. So the first guys that we're going to go over are the guys that lettered for us this year. And like we said, guys, we can just do the 2-clap thing. Gavin Devon, Brian Bailey, Brody Litchell, Colby Hutchinson, Cooper Parsons, Garrett Fager, Casey Hamlin, Logan Fager, Noah Lomar, Trent Green, Tyler Sage, Zane Order. So those were all the guys that ended up lettering for us this year. Next we'll have our provisional guys, which obviously those are the guys that came pretty close to doing what they needed to do in order to get that letter. So provisional would be Jaden Boyer, Lucas Goodyear, good. Okay, so next we've got participation. So we've got Austin Creton, Dayton Meek, Hawk Shopti, Hayden Kearns, Keaton Curley, Lane Sage, Logan McKinney, Ella Martinez, Peggy Thomas, and Ryan Barlow. And there's actually kind of a funny story about Peyton Thomas, and we all call him Hog Rider. But it's actually super funny. You know, when you first start out, this was Peyton's first year of baseball. Never played baseball in his life. Never, you know, I didn't have him in class. So I was like, "Hey, why don't you come out for baseball?" He's like, "I've never played, man. I'm kind of nervous about it." So he ends up coming out, and we're practicing all this good stuff, you know. And he thinks he's a right-handed guy at first, okay? Well, we're playing wiffle ball one day, and we end up hitting it to him, and he ends up picking the ball up and throwing it with his left hand, and we discover that he is a lefty. This is about, you got to take in consideration, this is about a month into practice, guys. We went to practice every day doing drills and making us try to throw it right-handed every day. And we get to practice finally, and we're like, "Dude, you're a lefty? What are you talking about?" So we found out he was a lefty, and he's had a fabulous year. We were always trying to work to get him his first career hit. I mean, you know, even if he were to foul a ball off, we were probably freaking out or something, you know. But that's the passion of the sport, guys. That's really what it's all about. It's the little bitty moments that you enjoy with each other, because these are the moments that you're gonna remember for the rest of your life. So like I said, hey, we've got a regional Monday. I'm super, super excited about this team. You know, it's been a fabulous year, and like I said before, guys, we are not done. We're gonna keep this train rolling, and we're gonna keep playing as long as they let us play. So who do we got next? Softball. C-Spice, bring it on. Thank you, guys.
Thank you for all your support throughout the season, for spending countless hours at the fields when I know you're taking time away from your families. This year we have pretty much a new coaching staff. This is my first year as the head coach, and then got 2 new assistants. It was a lot of change, but I couldn't have done it without them. All the support and giving me pointers here and there. And lastly, thank you to the players. Thank you for putting work in every day with a positive attitude and buying into change. All right, so talk about the season a little bit. The season has had its ups and downs. First off with weather, but also just with sickness and injuries. We've had a lot of those, but the girls pushed through and worked hard every day. We have 27 players out, and we started with 27 and we're finishing with 27. So that was pretty awesome. But with that, we have a lot of multiple levels of experience, so there's been a lot of growth and improvement throughout the season. I appreciate the whole team's hard work and dedication to the season. Some highlights far have been JV putting it on Santa Fe Trail 16-8. And that was a big accomplishment. We needed that for our confidence for sure. And then for varsity, I would say it have to be our Chase County and Northern Heights games. We played them back to back. We won all 4, and 3 of them were run roll. So good job on those. Now I'm going to talk about some staff leaders real quick. So in batting for JV, we were led by Lincoln Russell. She batted a .467 with 6 RBIs, a double, and an on-base percentage of .500. She was followed by Maddie Renfro with a .429. She had 12 hits, 5 RBIs, 4 doubles, 1 triple, and had an on-base percentage of .44. For varsity, we were led by freshman Teal. She batted a .508 with 32 hits, 22 RBIs, 10 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, and had an on-base percentage of .569. She was followed by Gracie Smith, who was batting .500. She has 26 hits, 16 RBIs, 6 doubles, and an on-base percentage of .606. Our next category is stolen bases. For JV, we were led by Riley Pettigene with 6 stolen bases, and Maddie Bourne with 4. And then varsity, we had a tie. Both Callie Lane and Emily Mullins both had 7. And then for fielding, for JV, Lincoln Russell led with 1 error in 7 games and had a fielding percentage of .950. And then Maddie B with only 2 errors in 10 games and had an .857 fielding percentage. And then for varsity, Callie Lane led with 852 fielding percentage with only 8 errors in 20 games. And Keir Davison, also a freshman, has a fielding percentage of .853 and 5 errors in 18 games. And then lastly, pitching. JV was led with Keir Davison with 19 strikeouts and Maddie Renfro with 11. And then for varsity, I want to talk about Gracie Smith a little bit real quick. She has done so well this year. She has pitched all games except the 2 she missed for state forensics. And that included 4 games in 2 days. So she has pitched 1,540 pitches on the season, has only allowed 7 walks, and has 88 strikeouts. All right, so now I'm going to move on to lettering and participation. So we'll start with participation. Go ahead and do 2 claps. We've got Harmony Dorsey, Skylar Dunbar, Haley Lloyd, Alexis Luke, Riley Farwell, Kelsey Lloyd, Claire Strong, Lily Mitchell, and Hannah Robertson. Next we have some Provisional Girls. They have played in some varsity games, and if they play again next year, obviously the letter, we have Emery Camarina, Maddie Renfro, Maddie B, Riley Pettigene, Lakin Russell, and Ella Shoemaker. And then lastly, we have our letter winners. I'm going to start with the underclassmen. We have Keir Davison, Taylor Erickson, Callie Lane, Emily Mullins, Gracie Smith, Kate Ganbine, and Olivia Phillips. Okay? Before I talk about our seniors, just want to say we had 6 seniors this year. They always kept us on our toes in practice by either acting silly or making jokes, but they have also brought a lot of playing experience and been good leaders for this team. So our first senior and letter winner is Savannah Hammond. We will miss Savannah's sarcastic personality and willingness to play whatever position we need her to, whether that's outfield, pinch running, or catching. Savannah has played in 14 games and has 2 stolen bases. All right, next one, Cassie Hamlin. We will miss Cassie's constant questions and IQ for the game. No one knows the rules of the game better than Cassie. She has been a good first baseman for us with a strong bat. She is hitting a .294 on the season with 4 RBIs, .333 on-base percentage, and 1 stolen base. I have to add that stolen base because it's kind of a running joke on the team about Cassie's speed. But what she lacks in speed, she has knowledge. lot of playing experience, and she's another kid that we threw wherever we needed her. She's played second, third, first for us this year. She's been a great leader for us, both hockey and by example. She's hitting a .289 on the season, has a .386 on-base percentage, 10 RBIs, 2 doubles, and 2 stolen bases. The next 2 seniors have come welcoming together because they had good energy and positivity throughout the year. So the first one is Haley Robertson. We'll miss her silly personality and positive energy that she brought daily. She's been very selfless this year. Has been the type of player that every coach wants to have on her team. She always brought good energy in the dugout and encouraged her teammates. Might hit a couple people with some wild throws here and there, but always kept practice games entertaining and kept it light. She is hitting a .333 on. She has a .333 on-base percentage and has 1 RBI. The next one is Ashley McCoy. She's our starting right fielder. She has improved so much batting and fielding throughout this year, and honestly has been an energy machine, always hyping people up and being everyone's biggest fan. She's hitting a .340 on the season with 17 hits, 2 RBIs, 4 doubles, 1 triple, 5 stolen bases, and has an on-base percentage of .389. And then lastly, we have Grace Croucher. Grace Croucher has worked her tail off this year in practice, always staying positive and playing the best I've ever seen her play. She's our starting center fielder and batted 3rd in our lineup until she had a bad ankle injury in the warm-up at Linden. Missed a couple of weeks, or maybe just a week, but has come back stronger than ever. She's been a great role model to these girls and working hard every day. She's hitting a .325 on the season, 13 hits, 2 RBIs, 1 double, 1 stolen base, and a .426 on-base percentage. So to wrap up, Grace, Trinity, Ashton, Cassie, Haley, and Savannah will miss. We wish you nothing but the best, and we will miss you next year. Hope to send you off on a high at regionals on Monday, May 16th. We play Bishop Ward at 3 at West Franklin. Thank you.
This season has been a great success so far. The team has been growing, and I've seen a lot of improvement throughout the season. As a varsity team, we've placed in 6 out of our 8 tournaments that we played this year, so top 3 and 6 of the 8, which is awesome. And yesterday we placed first place in the league, so we are league champions. It's pretty awesome. In addition to that, we have 5 all-league finishers this year. We got Owen Bailey, we have Mason Gibson, Wyatt Bailey, Cole Pitts, and Logan Portner. We're all league finishers. So congratulations to them. We already kind of mentioned this, but as all the spring sports people know, it's been crazy weather, and for golf, with the rain, with the wind, with the conditions, it has been absolutely awful. But I'm proud of how these guys have battled this year and have played some pretty good golf. So the league tournament was the first time that this year that I didn't actually have to wear a winter jacket, so that was pretty awesome. Some other highlights for the season include that we took first place at the Council Grove tournament. So that was awesome. And speaking of hitting things, Logan Porter may or may not have nailed a bus with a golf ball as well. So this season is the first season that I've had an assistant coach. So shout out to Butch for being my assistant. He's done a great job. And with the JV team, he's primarily been in charge of helping out with them and taking them to tournaments. Here's some highlights West Franklin JV, we had Gavin Devon, Bryson Murphy with the tie for 8th place with the 44. Council Grove JV, we had Bryson Banfield, Cole Thompson took 2nd place with the 45, and then Alex Boner and Bryson Murphy took 4th with the 46. So a lot of good potential on our JV team, and unfortunately this year we were only able to play 3 JV tournaments out of the 6 due to weather cancellations. So hopefully next year we have a few more of those. I'd also like to recognize our, we'll recognize kids for participation right now. So, Trevor Medley, participation. Bryce Leinbarger, participation. Aiden Staley. Robert Jones. Cole Thompson. Bryson Banfield. And Colton Medley. Okay, now I want to talk about our varsity and recognize them. So we had some letter winners this year. Logan Fortner lettered this year. Ryan Davies also lettered. Cole Pitts lettered. Mason Gibson. Wyatt Bailey. And Owen Bailey. Alright, I'd like to also recognize our seniors on the team. We have 5 seniors on the team this year with 2 newbies. We had Alex, Gavin, and Bryson, which have played golf. We didn't have that COVID year, but they've been out with the team all 4 years and have really been a joy to have around. This year, Alex made a push for varsity, and he competed in 3 varsity tournaments. So congratulations, Alex, for lettering this year. Tanner and Luke were also first-time golfers, and I'm really glad that they came out for the team. And we have some participation for you guys, and also some pretty awesome personalized Indian golf balls for you guys. Our regional tournament will be played at Lamont Hill. It's going to be on Monday at 9 a.m. If we qualify with that, we're going to be heading out to the state tournament in Salina on the 23rd and 24th. So continue to follow along on social media, see what we're doing, and appreciate all the support. Let's go Indians.
So I want to say my thank yous. You know, we got a lot of the same thank yous been said again today. My seniors have gotten really close to me. I mean that both literally and figuratively. But a lot of the same thank yous, of course, administrators, Mr. Cooper, Mr. Hutt, and the bus drivers, especially Sandy Lopez. She's been our regular bus driver. She went to state with us and somehow spent, you know, like 24, 48 hours with us. And didn't lose her mind, so that's good on her. And I want to talk a little bit about our season this year. And our season is done. We finished up on Saturday at state. And I want to talk a little bit about it because it was an outstanding season. And probably, guys, you're going to hear the bell ring in the middle of me talking. And I know a lot of you are going to need to get up and go, and more of you are going to want to. But these kids up here are deserving of you staying in your seats and clapping. I'd really appreciate it if you could. So, This season, we went to 11 different tournaments. We won 6 of those tournaments. First place as a team. Most of those were blowouts. 2 of those tournaments, we took second place by fewer than 5 points behind the first place position. At one tournament, we took third place, again, only 5 points behind first place. And that's, I know you guys probably don't know the scoring system for forensics, but with scores between 150 and 200 points, 5 points is not a huge spread. So to say that we've had an outstanding season is an understatement. At those 11 tournaments, these students behind me earned over 150 medals. That's top 6 at each of those tournaments. The average of that was 15 medals per tournament, which is outstanding. A lot of them qualified for state at those tournaments. To qualify at state, you have to win either first or second place in your event. We had 32 qualifiers for state, which is amazing. Now, unfortunately, at state we can only take 16 entries, so we can only take half of the entries that we qualified for state, which means that we had to make some tough choices and only get the maximum number we could there. So while I'm handing out these awards here, I'm going to tell you a little bit about who are the accomplishments of these students. Hey, Ashley, you grab that. Oh. You might notice I've got a team of 30 kids here, and I don't have an assistant, so I really have to rely on these kids to do a good job and be, very independent and on top of it. Yeah. Open up on those ones. Oh, you want this? I want this. Yeah. It's great. It works out really great all the time. All right, so I'm going to start off with a few students who get participation awards this year. In order to letter, you have to medal at tournament. So those who didn't quite medal get a participation award. So we're going to start with Taylor Erickson, Landon Reeves, and Lindsay Davenport. All right, so then we've got our letter award winners. We're going to start with the freshman class. This freshman class, we've got quite a few of them here. They've done a great job. A few of these kids even went to state. So I've got Harmony Dorsey, Skylar Dunbar. Skylar qualified for state at the very last tournament we went to this year. Allison Neary. Allison took her informant stage about molasses to state. Madeline Renfro. Maddie also competed at state, along with her partner Sadie Shoemaker. Sadie Shoemaker. They had a really great duet acting piece they did together. Emily Wayland. All right, that's it for our freshman class. Now we're moving on to sophomores. Sophomore Emery Camarina. Emery also, she qualified, she double qualified, no, triple qualified for state. IDA, DA, and SSA. We only took one of those, we took her DA piece to state. Lindsay Davenport. Riley Medellin. Gavin and Riley also both qualified for state, and Riley took her duet acting piece with Emery to state. McKinley Smith. She took her poetry piece to state. Gracie Smith. Gracie took her performing to state. Josiah Smith. He'll be around. Lakin Wessel. Chase Williams. Chase was another one that qualified for state. Weston Dunbar. Weston qualified for state and made it into semifinals. Haley Lacey. Ellie Shoemaker. Now, Ellie is going to get 2 certificates from me today, one for forensics and one for debate. She actually qualified for state debate this year. Unfortunately, we didn't have a qualified team. It was just her. If somebody else had made it to more tournaments, probably would have gone to state. I'm not calling you out in front of everybody, Susie, just those who are left. All right, now I'm on to the difficult ones. You know, that last one, that was our junior class. I've only got 3 juniors. Now, those of you who are currently juniors and you think, oh, you know, I might want to spend some time with Mr. Strickland next year and do forensics, it's not too late. A lot of the seniors that are up here, this is their first year in forensics. And all of them led it. So we're going to start with Brian Bailey. Brian, this is the second year in a row that he's taken an SSA to state. He did real well with it. Good work, Brian. Next is Alex Donner. Alex qualified for state with 1 piece, and then unfortunately that got challenged, so then he had to switch last second, and he still did very well at state with it. Next is Gavin Devon. Now, Gavin had to practice in his off time because he did not have the class with me. So he had to work, he double qualified for state and took IDA. Oh yeah, both these guys, a lot of these guys double qualified. And Brian also double qualified, a lot of them did. All right, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get through this quick. Cora Hopke. Cora took a poetry piece in state and finished in the top 12. Ashlyn Floyd. This is Ashlyn's 3rd year to go to state. It would have been 4, except that 1 year when everything shut down. We don't like to talk about that. Sean McIntosh. Sean also double qualified for state. Bryson Murphy. Another one who double qualified for state. Jackson Sage. Jackson went to state with us as a timekeeper because we needed some extra help. He was willing to pick up the slack there. All right, McKenna Stump. This was McKenna's 2nd time double entering at state. And finally, Luke Testerman. Now, Luke was our 1 medalist at state. He took 3rd place overall in state poetry. So, I want you guys to give everybody up here a round of applause.